It is well known that the Titanic, at her time the biggest ship in the world, sank during her maiden voyage on April 15, 1912. Since then, people have been developing theories about her sinking, not believing in coincidence. In this video, the most prominent conspiracy theories about Titanic sinking are explained. The so-called Titanic switch theory is the most famous conspiracy theory floating around in the internet. The basic message this theory wants to communicate to the world is that it was not Titanic that sank in the night of April 15th, but instead her sister Olympic. The Olympic has been damaged heavily in the past during a collision with the British warship HMS Hawke. Repairs were carried out, but supporters of the theory claim that the damage was too heavy, so Olympic could never be fully repaired. Allegedly, the damaged Olympic was switched with the newer Titanic when both ships were at Harland and Wolff. Being nearly identical at that time, some people think it was easy to exchange some nameplates, completely neglecting the major differences between both sister ships. They say that a plan was carried out to name the Olympic Titanic, send her on the maiden voyage, purposely sink her on the North Atlantic, rescue all the passengers and crew members through nearby vessels like the Californian, and in the end collect the insurance money for Titanic. The disguised and damaged Olympic would be gone and no longer a problem for her owners. The newer Titanic would continue her life as Olympic, and the White Star Line would receive a lot of money to work with in future projects. But during the fateful night, things went out of hand and lots of people were killed. This claim states fire began in one of Titanic's coal bunkers approximately 10 days prior to the ship's departure and continued to burn for several days into the voyage. Fires occurred frequently on board steamships due to spontaneous combustion of the coal. The fires had to be extinguished with fire hoses, by moving the coal on top to another bunker, and by removing the burning coal and feeding it into the furnace. This event has led some authors to theorize that the fire went out of control and systematically compromised the structural integrity of a watertight bulkhead nearby, leading to its breaking in the night of the sinking and ultimately to Titanic's doom. This theory claims that the Titanic was sunk by a German U-boat. In 1912, tensions were running high between the empires of Britain and Germany, so the Germans wanted to test their new weapon and sink a prominent ship of the British merchant fleet to demonstrate its power. To this day, no evidence was found to support this theory. Some conspiracy theorists believe that the Titanic was sunk on purpose to eliminate opposition to the creation of the Federal Reserve Bank. Some of the wealthiest men in the world were aboard the Titanic for her maiden voyage, several of whom, including John Jacob Astor, Benjamin Guggenheim, and Isidor Straus, were allegedly opposed to the creation of the US Central Bank. This could not be proven to this day. Some even only say that JP Morgan wanted to kill his rivals, so he sank his own ship to do the job. There are people who say that there was a mummy being transported in one of Titanic's cargo holds. They believe that the curse attached to this mummy eventually led to the sinking of the Titanic. Yard number 401 also bore the builder's hull number of 390904, a number whose appearance almost caused construction work to stop. Perhaps it was first seen by a member of the drafting department straightening his tie in a mirror, or possibly by a yard worker catching a glimpse of the number reflected in a rain puddle. But regardless of the origin, the numerals if hastily written and then read as a mirror image, spelled out to some the ominous words, "No Pope." And in the hearts of the pious, working-class Catholic employees in Belfast, there was deep indignation until a delegation of their men was assured by management representatives that it was all strictly coincidence and that no malice had been intended. In spite of the assurance, and although work resumed, the builder's hull number, for many then and many today, spelled doom for the vessel. These 6 theories are the most prominent conspiracy theories so far. Of course, none of them is true. Some of them cannot be proven due to a lack of evidence, others are based on belief and mystic powers. In the end, they are a lesson for us, not to believe everything we pick up. It is important to always be critical and question such theories in order to stay with the truth.